I'm not sure. I'm real interested in these Wizards 8 games that they're being sort of forced at gunpoint to play.
Davis Bertans.
Yeah. Well, you can't blame him.
No, I don't blame him one bit.
What is sort of your take? What is the organization's take on this? Are they going to just use this as an opportunity to play the young guys? How are they going to approach this?
That's a good point. I think what happens is Davis has some money waiting for him.
Yeah,
okay?
A lot.
And I give the organization credit because they have said for a while that, Davis is their top priority to bring back. So this is a guy that's had some history with some knee issues. He's the top priority in free agency. So why exactly would he go down there and play these 8 games? I saw that Evan Fournier kind of took a shot at him last night about, aren't you in it with your team? And, I've always said this about, professional sports guys. Yes, it's about team, but it's also about your individual success, which is predicated on how much money you're able to procure as a professional athlete.
Right.
So I think what Davis did was he made a business decision, and it was actually supported by his employer not to play. Think about that. I think that's what's getting lost in the sauce here, guys.
Yeah. And
the
Fournier,
organization is telling him, we don't want you to play. So he made a really good decision.
And it's easy, by the way, for Fournier to lob bombs when he's already G'd up for $17 million a year. So if he were if he were in Bertans' shoes, he would probably do exactly the same thing if he had that big payday waiting for him in 8+ games.
Here's the question.
And, I was saying this to my buddies yesterday, trying to explain to guys who, obviously we have buddies that aren't in the business like we are, guys. You have to explain it like it's not just so, oh, you're making this kind of money and you should just go out there and hit. It's more nuanced than that, okay? This is a business, all right? I can't quantify it to someone that is a lawyer, okay? I can't quantify it to somebody that's a school bus driver. I can't quantify it that way. But what I can say, though, is if you were put in this position and you were shooting 42% from 3, you are having a career year, the market is telling you this is the best opportunity for you to make money, okay? You're going to do it.
Yeah. Where do we stand right now as far as the NBA all getting into Orlando, getting all the players from Europe or wherever they're kind of shacking up during the COVID? And then now you got this second wave in Florida. A lot of people are scared. Who knows? I think these guys will be fine, but where do we stand on that whole process?
Well, yesterday was the first day that everyone was supposed to get back into their team's market. Okay, so everyone needs to be, the Wizards have to be in D.C., the Lakers have to be in L.A., And what I've been told is not until they get down to Orlando, guys, will they even be able to play 5-on-5. So think about this. Until the first part of July, they're just going to be playing 5-on-0. Okay,
wow.
So what are you really working on? How much cardio can you really get in? How competitive can it actually be until you get down to the bubble? So, I guess they're working on their sets. They're getting their conditioning in. But it's really not that competitive edge you get when you're playing 5-on-5. You guys know, you've played basketball. Listen, you can do drills all day, but not until you roll that ball out and you're guarding somebody in front of you and it's getting competitive do you really get the real essence and the real sense of what basketball is about, right? So that's not going to happen until they get down to Orlando. My biggest concern is this. That first test, somebody comes back negative and they've got the COVID, right? Or it comes back positive. Okay, so that player's been taken out of the mix. Well, then what happens when the second one and the third one? It's easy to say right now, we'll just pull this player out of there. But come on, guys. You get down there, you've got these droplets in the air, you're playing. This is Novak Djokovic just announced this morning he had COVID. This is a tennis player.
Yeah.
And that's
he was partying it up partying it up in the clubs with a bunch of hotties. I'm not surprised he got COVID.
I think shirtless too, right?
Shirtless. There was 1,000 people in the club. I'm not surprised. But here's another question for you, Chris. How serious do you think? Because you kind of laid it out, and they're not even going to play 5-on-5 until they're actually going to have to go down to Orlando and get quarantined, each player for 48 hours in their hotel rooms. Right. All right. So they're not even going to be able to see each other in the first 2 days when they're down there. Anyway. how serious do you think the veterans will take this, the Bradley Beals of the world, when it's just a sham? It really is.
Well, listen, let's talk about the elephant in the room. I mean, we know why they're going down there.
Cash.
I mean, come on. That's really what it is. Now, you can kind of spin it any way you want, but the reality is there are a lot of dollars at stake, guys. If they canceled this season, there would have been a lot of money at stake. And you don't want the league to activate that force majeure, which completely tears up the CBA. You've got a new negotiation with the players and the owners. And listen, they've hemorrhaged a lot of money during this COVID. That's clear. Everybody's done it, right? So to go down there and play these 8 games from a business standpoint makes all sense in the world. Now, I just hope that these teams that aren't in the championship chase are being really smart about how they're handling their best players on the team. Yeah. And I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say, you can still go down there to Orlando and give 60% and still get paid.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. Or give 0%.
That's the question that I had yesterday about, like, the style of what are we going to see when we get down there for the teams that aren't chip chasing, right? The Milwaukees, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Celtics, the Sixers of the world are going to go out there trying to win a championship. The rest of these teams, what exactly are you trying to get done down there?
Yeah, right.
Right. Yeah. That's why I say you get to play the young guys. I guess. I don't know what else you do.
Right. They're trying not to get injured so they can get to their next payday. That's part of what it is, too.
Yeah.
Well, that's
also called the regular season, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, we can make that argument.
But Chris, you bring up a good point. I mean, if 3 guys on one team test positive in the first week, right, and then a couple more on a couple of the other teams, I mean, does the NBA get scared and say, all right, this is not what we thought it was going to be, or do they just?
Let me ask you guys this: does it depend on who those 3 guys are?
Probably.
Okay. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Probably.
So if we're talking about some of the elite names in the league, they get it. Now you have a problem.
But I mean, if LeBron and Anthony Davis get it,
all right, let me say this. I'm going to say this and rest in peace my timeline, okay? Yeah. But let me just say this. I had a doctor tell me yesterday, that what he wishes is all the guys would go to camp and just all get it together and be done with it and then get on with the season. And just all have a COVID party, get it and get it over with. It's a doctor that told me that. Because they know for young people, it's a virus and they do fine with it. I know that we're never going to get to that point, but I had a doctor tell me that yesterday. It's not that, I wouldn't recommend that for my mother.
I'm never going to argue with a doctor, but what I would say is people have families, and I get that families aren't allowed to come down there until after the first round of the playoffs. And I think the last thing you want to do is have a family member that is
no doubt
has some type of issue,
no doubt,
health-wise, get it. So,
no doubt. Well, quarantine them. Quarantine the guys.
With the doctor, but yeah, that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But okay.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, quarantine the guys. Let them have a month where they all just get and give it to each other, and they'll be fine. They're the
I think the issue with that statement, though, is what happens 5-10 years down the road. Because the one thing we do not know about this, again, this is not Dr. Miller here, but this is just what I've heard Dr. Fauci say. Okay, I'm leaning on that guy. He seems to be the smartest person in the room. Is what happens 5 or 10 years now with those healthy players.
That's fair. We don't know any of the long-term consequences.
Yep,
sometimes I feel like that might be a fear-mongering thing, but it is fair. You don't know. We're not, how can you know? You don't know. That is fair. Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know.
You don't know.
Chris
you
Miller.
haven't had long-term, so how do you know what long-term effects are?
The question is, what doctor was ZB talking to? Was it Dr. Scholes? Was it Dr. J?
That was a real doctor.
Know.
Was it Doctor?
A real doctor. Right. A real doctor that's been with COVID patients. But.
Wait a minute. Did you say doctor? You mean the doctor from Fletch?
Oh, yeah, of course.
That was Dr. Costos.
Yeah. He was a few different doctors in that one. Yeah.
Right.
All right, Chris. Appreciate the time, buddy.
All right, guys.
Thank you
so much, man. Have a great week.
Yep. Good talk.
Appreciate it.